आज आम गोटे बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट एरिया रे डिस्कशन करिया. This will be the economic survey. मन रख जे you don't have to read the whole of economic survey. Just read the first chapter. है ना? From the economic survey, that जो first chapter अच्छी state of Indian economy, सेटा जो अच्छी से basis रे मुझे नोटा prepare करची, बुझो था? So that's more than enough for your main examination and also for your interview. जेतरा कीजिए interview रे आसो. So say enough depth अच्छी तम मान को तम पे, and that's more than enough. Ako subsequent chapters पढ़ा दरकार नहीं. Only when somebody is having economics as a paper, से अन्य chapter पढ़ियो. So आमने मध्य when we teach, even economics level रे आमे first chapter ही लोग को मने से तगर बहुत difficulty हुए. People have lot of difficulty in understanding the first chapter. से प्रथम पेज रे ही निद लगी वो देखले. ला इमिते से मने it is written in such a difficult way that people like me also will fall asleep. Anyway, so why economic survey? Now, note karo, the economic survey is nothing but the financial health card. It is the financial health card of the country. It is the financial health card. तमें तब जो दर जाओ चो वोटे डॉक्टर पखु complete checkup पई तम temperature केते अच्छी, तमरो blood pressure केते अच्छी, तमरो pulse केते अच्छी. So the economic survey is published by the Ministry of Finance. There is an economic division there. Our सबुबले economic division ta is independent from the finance ministry. But so much so that the economic survey is not shown to the finance minister for approval. But that's the kind of independence, autonomy which the chief economic advisor enjoys. माने भारतर सबुठु भलो भलो जो माने सबु एकदम बहुत भलो top class economists, they have held the position of chief economic advisors. Unfortunately, during the last 6-7 years, we have been taking chief economic advisors who are very pliant of the government. When a government को कहते सुहे व से भले लिखिए, हमको लिखिए. So that was not the case earlier. That was not the case earlier. The earlier, the chief economic advisors used to write very objectively, sometimes very critical of the government. So there are two aspects to economic survey. Gotte hala financial health card of all sectors, major sectors. Agriculture, take note karo, agriculture, industry, infrastructure, financial intermediation, social sector, and external sector. And external sector. कौन कौन कहली? Agriculture, industry, infrastructure, financial intermediation. Financial intermediation means banks. Banks and financial markets. Please note down, banks and financial markets. Not only banks, it also they comment on the financial markets, stock market. Then कौन कहली? Social sector, external sector. Climate has been added as one more chapter. Climate, impact of climate. Okay. So this is the new addition after the SDG. Sustainable Development Goal hala pare 2015 pare. So a new chapter has been added to economic survey, which also talks about climate action that we are supposed to take and what would be its impact on the economy. So ये जो different sectors जो trends अच्छी, So a data would collect kare finance ministry. Finance ministry doesn't have any independent source. So it collects data from different ministries. जो किसी doubts about, they will ask the ministry, but they are not the originators of data. Are you getting my point? This is very, very important. So one is, it is a collection of data from different ministries. Then so that will give you the trends. That will give you the trends. The trend. They also give you an outlook. Please note down. Outlook. What is their expectation? What is their expectation for the next year? 2025-26. What is their outlook? What is the outlook of agriculture? What is the outlook of social sector? So all this. So in the chapter, each chapter you will find trends and outlook. So my request to all of you is, ମୁଁ ଏବେ 3-4 दिन टिके आसीबिनी माने बजेट हला पर जाके 3-4 दिन पर आसीबी तुमको तो टिके पढी दो एटाको फर्स्ट चैप्टर पढी दो. Has anybody read the first chapter? Has somebody? No? देखिछ. Okay. So my suggestion is, maybe 4th or 5th I'll come and talk about the budget. Ta purvuru tige economic survey chapter 1 ta tige padh dabo. But I will cover it today. But this will be very useful to all of you. Okay. So we will start with the first. We'll start with the first state of Indian economy. So what I have done, from the economic survey itself, I have picked up a few graphs. Okay. So you don't have to read all the graphs. So whatever graphs I am giving you is more than enough. But you must be very comfortable with this data. But I am giving you that much data, which is more than sufficient for your main examination and also for understanding the budget. So that is why I'll go a little slow so that you understand it fully, and you have no difficulty later on. Okay. Now people look forward to economic survey because it also gives an indication what is going to come in the budget. Okay. So from the outlook of economic survey, we will know what is there in store for the budget. Okay. So I have written an article on budget expectation. So many people have responded to me. Actually, aji mate daktule Connect TV or DD daktula me upre koya pe. Mukili more pilavani to achanti kali jibi. I will come go for the budget. Okay. So Odisha somehow I have the dubious reputation of being a very good economist. They're very uncomfortable. Modi ta ko tiye takati current da. Seithmen tanga tiye monata dukho tiye. कारण मत कहते सर टिके कम कि कहे सर दूरदर्शन वाला सर हाथ जोड़ुची आपको गाड़ी देवेनि बुझल तो यही गोटे हूँ मोर प्रॉब्लम बुझल कि माने का कहे नहीं बट आई व्हाट एवर आई से इज बेसिकली डेटा बेस्ड. ओके. I have no I don't take any sides, but if I find that something is not going wrong, I'll tell you. माने जिमते अनेक लोग चुप कहबेनी ए गोळे देव कथाटाकू मु गोळेइबिनी कथाटाकू बुझल तो. So anyway, so therefore so in the state of Indian economy, so whatever data I am giving you, bhalla kari bujhibo and take a picture also, and all of you must understand. After the 2007-8 global economic crisis, financial crisis, every economic survey starts with the global outlook. Please note down. Every economic survey after 2000, In fact, I started my career in economic division. Okay. And Dr. Manmohan Singh was my chief economic advisor. Sardar, that is Sardar, Dhada pant, Dhada shirt, Pindikiri, Astula, so bade. So, global outlook. What I'm trying to say, that when we are talking of Indian economy, we are part of a global economy. Please remember this. We are a part of global economy, and all of you know that Y is equal to what? C. Please note down, all of you. Plus G. Plus X minus M. Please, all of you note down. Y, total income of a country, or GDP of a country. So GDP is Y. Y is GDP. GDP of a country is what? C. What is C? Private final consumption expenditure. Okay, be absolutely exact. Private final consumption expenditure. Supposing we are talking of tea leaves. Tea leaves is not a final consumption. Tea is a final consumption. Sugar is not a final consumption. Sugar Rasagula is a final consumption. Are you all getting me? So in C, we only take final consumption. This is a final thing, not wood, not the paint. Are you all getting me? So anything which is the final good is only taken as PFCE. Is that clear? Tapare I hela investment. I hela private investment and public investment. Okay. I got private investment and public investment. Is that clear? Private investment and public investment. G hela government expenditure. Government expenditure on salary, on pension, on subsidy, on defense. Yes, madam. Come. So I had just started by saying that the economic survey, which has been just published, gives you a flavor of the economy, and before it gives a flavor of the economy, it takes a look at the global trends. Is that clear? So first, the Finance Ministry will look at the global trends, because global trends are important because X minus M is important for us. Please note down. Why global economy? Because of X minus M, export and import. That means what is the export outlook? What is the import outlook? What is the kind of outlook that we have for export? So, outlook, unless you know the global position, your outlook would be a function of the global position. Export body, the global demand is less. How would your export increase? Supposing the global outlook is very tepid, then export will not increase. So therefore, it is important for us to know what is the trend of export and what is the trend of import. So, when we are trying to understand the budget, we must understand, please note down everybody, that we must understand what is the trend of consumption. No, please note down, that is very important. The biggest challenge today before the finance minister is how to increase PFCE. Please note down. Biggest challenge before the finance minister hochi, the consumption is not increasing. The demand for goods and services is not picking up. Now it is not picking up because there is a huge unemployment. Please note down, Amar jo lower middle class or poor people which constitute about 60% of consumers. About so their consumption is not increasing. Now, just note down one interesting data is that today almost 50% of Indian population is having income less than 15,000 per month. So, 8 gote middle income trap. What is a middle income trap? Less than 15,000 re, right? 15,000 less than 15,000 re, you have about 50% people. Amar सबले discussion ta कौन होतला जे गरीब people who are below the poverty line. Are you all getting me? आमे समस्त भाबुतले जी जो मिडिल क्लास ता बहुत बढ़िया होची देखुचंती सीरियल फिल्म देखुचंत तो एसी फेसी किनी किरी स्कूटर फुटर कोनचंत तो भलो हिबे मिडिल क्लास ता बहुत बढ़िया करथो बोधे किंतु मिडिल क्लास खरा बाजा बाउची. Are you all getting me? So today India is basically caught in the pincer of a very large middle class which is very stagnant. Mane one of the biggest challenge hochi ei joda ka 15,000 ru kam pauchanti, how to get better paying jobs for them. Please note down, this is the how do we create better employment, more paying opportunities. So I'm buchota how to create better paying opportunity. Mane ei jo 50% achanti jo mane those who are getting about 10,000 12,000 tanko pai kimiti mane how to increase their income from 35,000 to about 50,000. Please note down, about 35,000 to 50,000. Eita hochi tomara aji gote upper middle class. Are you all getting me? तमे इंजीनियरिंग पास कर पिला पाँच से 25,000 खंड पाँच जिते से 35,000 पाँच से ठीक ठाक अच्छे सर ठीक अच्छे. Are you all getting me? In India, in Odisha for instance, the boy who works for me, he gets about 22,000. से जब मु 35,000 मैं पाइबे से बाहर ताको 34 वर्ष हो 10 वर्ष चली गलानी मो संगे. But he is in a middle income trap. Are you getting my point? But that is how the situation is. Are you getting my point? One who is gote hela sarbohara garibo loko se sara Naveen Patnaik mazhira chalo negir chalai chunta karo ko buchota jaha koi ane muft chalo miluni tara baja bauchi. Are you getting my point? So today we have a very interesting situation. Demand is not picking up because about 50% of our population have an income, monthly income of less than 15,000. So one of the biggest challenge for the budget would be how do you improve their employment potential? Skilling becomes important. So skilling becomes very important. Are we able to skill them? Can I skill them and take them, make them ensure that they get better jobs, more paying jobs? It is so linked. Employment, we are not looking for employment now. We are looking for better paying employment. Please note down, this is the critical thing. India is doing well overall. India is doing overall very well. किंतु ये जो 10-12,000 पाएगी जो दुखियारा जनता अच्छी 2,000-3,000 नहीं गोटे घर रोचंती. But many of you also belong to that category, you know. So I'm not joking. Kindly don't mistake my saying this. But this is the class which is trying to come out of 15,000 to 35 to 40,000. Are you getting my point? See, when you say IT factory, chakri pai 40,000 say their life becomes different. So when we are talking of why, so PFC, when we are talking of PFC, the biggest challenge is how to increase the consumption demand of the middle class. Please note down. Now the consumption function of a rich person is very low. I mean, marginal propensity to consume. What is MPC? What is MPC? Del C by del Y. What is MPC? Marginal propensity to consume. Are you all getting me? What is marginal propensity to consume? That when your income is increasing, what is the percentage you are spending on consumption? धर तुमको आज 100 टका पाइलो तुम अधिका से 100 टका जो तुम 80 टका खर्च कलो तमर एमपीसी हला 0.8. Are you following me? If you are spending 80 rupees out of 100 rupee income, increase in income, your MPC is 0.8. But supposing you are a rich man, so your MPC could be just about 0.1. बुझी पड़ता था तब दिवाली बोनस तुम्हें पाइलो, so you will spend almost the whole money 90%. किंतु ये जो अनिल अंबानी को बोनस से कौन टा था वो कहाँ कुछ कोटी खर्च करेगा से
सर आउ थरे एमपीसी कहि देबे.
MPC is equal to lekha marginal propensity to consume is equal to increase in consumption to increase in income. Increase in consumption to increase in income. Supposing somebody, but this concept was mooted by Keynes. Please note down. This is a very, very important concept of Keynes. ठीक है, नोट करो जो मैंने सब ऑनलाइन रखा. एटा केन से माने if a Nobel Prize would have been there at that time, Keynes would have got a Nobel Prize for this concept only. This was the concept. ये जो marginal propensity to consume ये जो concept था a multiplier ये दीटा जो concept रखला से सही थी पैसे we all remember him in economics. So now why MPC, please note, why MPC is important? Because the MPC of those who are online, poor, middle class and rich is different. Please note down. Please note down. आमर 40% poor रहिले. Please note down. Around 40% are poor. Their MPC is about 0.9. ये गरीब लोग को टंका मिलना माने से इमीडिएटली गला फुंकिला मद मारला कि जहा गोटे कले चिकन खाइबा केम करिया बदमाशी करिया मद पीबा हैला. तर MPC is very, very high. Now middle class in India, also the MPC is as high as 0.8, 0.7 to 0.8. The middle class also spends heavily. जेतल पूजा बोनस मिलुची, DA increase होउची, pay commission हबो, pay commission increase हबो June 2026 रे. My wife has already planned कौन मोटू जोड़ेबो बुझले कि मुकले से तो बंचिले से ना हबो सर unless I survive till that time 18 मास रो प्लान करची एबेटू बुझलो त. सो एते हाई MPC. My wife's MPC is 0.999. पाए टंका उड़ेबा केमते उड़ेबा देना मो 10 रे आसी बॉम्बे कला टिके जबा शॉपिंग पे बहुत दिन तक से जाइनी बुझला कि शॉपिंग करिया सो MPC बुझलो त. But the rich, the MPC could be as less as 0.2. Are you all getting me? Please note down, the average MPC for India is about 0.6, 0.65. This is the average. But when a businessman is investing, he will see ये जिनसे के खाऊची. If it is a luxury car, he will not target the poor and middle class. He will target the rich guy. But if it is a consumer goods, he will target the poor fellows. He knows ये सारा मिठा बहुत बिक्री होबो. बुझला ना दिवाली बेले मिठा बहुत बिक्री होबो हैला आ माने जो बाणा बहुत बिक्री हो. So MPC is very high. Are you all getting me? So अरे जहा जी खर्च करे कथा ता फिर पैसा नहीं ना तुम जहा को मोबाइल देखियो जो 15,000 तले खाली डिस्कशन जो पैसा विचारे. अरे फोन टा के उठोनु फोन टा उठी काटी दोच कहीं किसी ना पैसा पे माने डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ लोन्स माने ड्राइवर ड्राइव्स मी 6टा 7टा कॉल तर आछि कोटी कोटी से लोन देइनी अरे पठेरन तमे से तंटी खाइ देबे एकदम माने several loans has been incurred by him from several sources. He has several telephones also बुझले कि 3टा 4टा फोन अछि 8टा फोन ले से आउट फोन बाजिबो बुझलो त. So anyway, so have you understood now? So what is the central problem of India? Central problem of India is lack of consumption demand, particularly for the middle class and the poor class. So what is the solution to that? How to skill them, how to educate them, and how to get them good paying employable opportunity. Are you all getting me? Then budget so you have to see. For instance, I give an example to you. I have advocated my article. Supposing 5% tax cut आमर 30% अच्छी 25% है गला कि पेंशनर्स मानकर 5% कमी गला. सो आमे जो अच्छु प्राय 18% अच्छु संगे संगे आमर खर्चटा बढ़िबो. अरे ऑल गेटिंग इट. So immediately, so the moment the tax rate is cut, but not for the rich fellows. If I cut down the tax rate on Ambanis, so kichi se consumption body body. Nothing will happen. That fellow will only save it. Buchuko, more the 5% kamila. Tell mu dago kendi ude भी से चक्कर है. mu न थे मो wife अच्छी उड़े आपे. बुझ लगी से उड़े हुआ था. बुझ रहा से उड़े हुआ दिच्छा. उसे फोन टा नहीं कि रहल जानी चीज़ तो मरे कौन टा वाट जानी चीज़ से कर दो संग से किसी असुविधा नहीं तारा. संग से किसी उठे ना हुआ. मतलब किसी कोई बात करने तारा. से सेट नहीं जीवो पूरा. कौन टा पहला? कौन टा? 100% रिचार्ज. लक्ष्य टकार रिचार्ज. किंतु मोर अवस्था होचे मिडिल क्लास रो. नहीं मु रिच निश्चय लक्ष्य टका पाउच पेंशन माने डेफिनेटली आई एम इन द रिच क्लास. यस. माने whether I like it or not, yes, I am a rich guy. हां क्या? कोंडा? हां? ने तार कोन डाउट कहीं थिला? तो डाउट कोन पे थिला मत क्वालिटी को. मोर एटीट्यूड टा मिडिल क्लास. पैसा पाउचे रिच क्लास. एनीवे ठीक अछि. So anyway, so let's go one by one. मु तुम कहीं कि इटा कहूची नहले otherwise खाली हमें data factor गले तो बुझी परिबो. प्रथम वाला C बुझलो. So PFC है, you have understood. So when you are talking of increasing PFC, please note down, when you are talking of PFC, we have to also see what is the MPC of different income groups and how do we target them. How do we target them?
Sir, I can't follow. Author को sir से जो last sentence टा.
Last sentence टा हला जी जल्दी हमें कहबा जे हमने डिमांड टा बढ़ेबा. डिमांड टा भलो बढ़ू. So ए डिमांड जो हमें कथा कहूचे मैडम, ए डिमांड टा गोटे यूनिफॉर्म डिमांड नो. This demand is different for different income groups. Are you all getting me?
Yes,
so the
sir.
demand is dipping doesn't mean that demand of Anil Ambani is dipping. Demand is dipping of the middle class. Demand is dipping of poor people. So therefore, if I have to raise the potential of these classes, so I have to create better paying employment opportunities. ता नले हबनी. एमती मु खाली टैक्स रेट कले कोन टेम्पररी रिलीफ हो. बुझो तो जिम तम सुभद्रा स्कीम है जो 5-5 हजार जो आसची श्रीलंका आसची तार हस्बैंड रो नजर ता ऊपर केवल रहउची. माने मोर जे काम करची जे तार हस्बैंड ताको प्रथम फोर करची अरे टिके ड्रॉप पाइलोनी तो सुभद्रा रो माने ता अपेक्षा ता हस्बैंड इज मोर इंटरेस्टेड व्हेन द मनी हैज बीन क्रेडिटेड. से जाइंग्रिस ना बैंक रे बसी करी कहउची के अरे क्रेडिट हे गलान तोरो माने से उत्फुल्ल काड से टू डे टका मागी ओटे दे मते 5 टका दे दारू पीवी. Are you all getting me? So when we are talking of raising consumption expenditure, which is C, we have to see the marginal propensity to consume of poor, middle class and the rich class, and your policy by the government has to be also with reference to that. So to give an example, if the many people have recommended that we should cut down the tax rate on the middle class. Okay, middle class, that will really improve. This is precisely what was done by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Please note down. Roosevelt did the same thing. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the American president, thile. So he did the same thing during Depression. So what he did, he reduced the tax rate of the middle class very substantially, from 20% to just about 10%. And he increased the tax rate of the super rich. Are you all getting me? So that was distributive justice. This is what we call as distributive justice. Have you understood what is distributive justice? So you bring down tax rate on the middle class, and for the very, very rich, super rich, you increase the tax rate. Kintu ebe kothata houni karan takaru paisa khauchunde mane same and paisa douchunti. So that is not happening. Most of the countries are, barring a few countries, please note down, the Scandinavian countries, all the Scandinavian countries, Norway, Denmark, Sweden. So say the top tax rate is around 60%, even in France. So the outliers, the एमिते नहीं जे सबु कंट्री उडा खाली कॉर्पोरेट को तेल मारछन. No, not like that. Most of the Scandinavian countries, France, they have very high tax rate for the super rich. Are you getting my point? So while in the US, se mane bahut corporate friendly, e mane corporate friendly जमान नुहा. तर कोई तो पैसा दियो तो बेसी पैसा दियो गरीब लोगों को कामर लागियो छोड़ा सब. अरे से टोकड़ा कोते खर्चो for the benefit of the poor, for their hospitals, for their education, for their nutrition, welfare, social welfare program. So C time कले. तबरे ISO. I देखो, please note down. I हला IP हला private and IPU hela public. Now please note down that in you note karataku in 2007-2008 in 2007-2008, this was 7% and this was 31%. Please note down. So the total investment I in 2007-2008 was 38%. This was the maximum that was witnessed in India. 2007 रे 2008 किंतु 2018 परे after 2014 परे this has remained 7% and this has become 23%. Please note down. Go systematically. We are trying to analyze economic survey. Are you all getting me? I is a summation of private investment and public investment. Because the investment climate of the private sector was very good in 2007, 2008 and 2008-9, 31%. But after 2014, till now, it is around 30%. Please note down. So one major challenge for the finance minister is not investment. How to encourage and bolster private investment. कौन टा कले bolster माने बढ़ेवा. How to bolster private investment. कौन टा कले एवढा का बेसी invest करिवे. That's because, after that the demand has dipped. We had a lot of scandals. We had the coal scandal, we had the scandal, corruption scandal. So the corporate sector felt that this government is not decisive. So therefore, these are the major factors why private sector investment has come down. Also, please note down, the private sector investment is a function of the employment situation. If they find large number of people are unemployed, say, kahin ki invest karibo? Why should he invest in making more scooters, more cars, more houses? Kahin karibo che? So the private, please note down, the private sector is motivated only by profit, whereas in the public investment need not be guided by profit. It can be welfare driven. Please note down. This is very, very important. I'm not investment katha koche. Are you getting a hang of it? So while public investment, tara ame kahbe school besi kharch kariyo, ao besi school baneba, ao besi hospital baneba. Hala, tahale sitra profit ho no. Government is not spending just for the notion of profit, because it is interested in inclusive growth. But private sector is not interested in inclusive growth. It is not interested in inclusive growth. Se koibo je nai bhala environment nai kine mo jinso kineo ke nai mu kahi adhya karibi. Are you getting my point? So eita ko ame kohuche mane jo please note down. So it's asked a very, very good question. Economics plata to sei jase 50 cheez kotha. Please note down a term called irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance ko kiye kahitila eta ko कहते गोटे बैंकर यूएस रो बैंकर जी थिला फेडरल रिजर्व बैंक गवर्नर थिला किछि मन रो ना ये सब फ्लश करके एकदम उड़ी गयो
केनिस
हां
केनिस
के
केनिस
so the reserve bank governor of US, okay, he coined a term called irrational exuberance. से कला ए जो 2007-2008 रे ए जो investment गुड़ा हला, because the investors felt that there would be tremendous increase in the demand. Irrational exuberance is a phenomena where you expect that the demand is going to pick up very substantially. So if you think the demand is going to pick up, the country is doing very well. See, when Mr. Modi came for the second term, everybody thought that this irrational exuberance also came to India. But then when he was not able to bring more employment to the table, so people, then youngsters realized कि ये विशेष किसी employment है generate कर रहा है. ये जिम्ति जहाँ जिनसे अच्छी खाली मंदिर फंदर यही चक्कर रे खाली उटे गोलमाल करके से चली जाती. Are you getting my point? So irrational exuberance ता ना होचे Alan Greenspan. Please note down Alan Greenspan. Alan एटा सब कही दिले तो क्वाड सब किसी मने रखो ना. क्वाड सब उड़ा सब खातर रहुचे कोठी. तो क्वाड सब जाऊ चुड़ा सब. Alan Greenspan is considered the greatest banker of all times. Only 18 वर्ष से रिजर्व बैंक गवर्नर थिला. ताको देखा करिया पे प्रेसिडेंट जाऊ थिला. Bill Clinton used to go and meet him. बुझलो तो सी गोटे एते बुधिया लोकटा थिला. बुझलो कि एलन ग्रीनस्पैन से बाहर करतला जो प्रश्न मत पचारला से कहला जी so when people realized, the investors realized that their exuberance is irrational, so they stopped investing. Are you all getting me? गोटे इन्वेस्टर तळे इन्वेस्ट करूची से भाबुची जे कोनटा हो बोले आगरे अरे जो विकल कर जदि आज कहबो जे मु आउर अधिका रसगोल्ला बिकिबी से भाबो जे बहुत गुडे पिला आछुंती ठीक है कलिंग एकेडमी आछुंती बहुत रसगोल्ला फसला खाउचंती आ से खबर पाला कोन आउरी 50 टा खंडे पिला आछुंती सबुदिन कोन रसगोल्ला फसला खाउचंती तार गोटे एक्सुबरेंस हला कला अधिका करे रसगोल्ला कले देखला को तमे जरा की रसगोल्ला खाइबो छाड़लो. So are you all getting me? This is called irrational exuberance. So when you feel that the demand will increase, so you start investing. Are you getting my point? So, so one of the reasons why private investment came down because they realized that their exuberance during 2007-2008 was irrational, was not realistic. Seiti pai crisis hala. The financial crisis jo hala. Because ए जो आमे भाबुतरु जे बहुत बढ़िया हबो बोली बोला हलानी माड़ खाइले. Have you understood? बुझले तो कथा. So this is so yes example. So आमे we have finished C. तापर आमे we have finished C, then we have finished I. Then G हला, then plus X minus M हला. So from this बुझ पड़छो तो. So one of the challenges before the finance minister tomorrow would be how to increase, how to create enabling environment. Please note down how to create enabling environment. How to create enabling environment for private sector to invest more. For private sector to invest more. धरो तमे गोटे हला सरकार डिसाइड कला जब 30 टा नुआ एयरपोर्ट करिबा बुझलो तो सब लोग भाबिबो इकोनॉमिक्स से पहुचे थिंक ऑफ सम एग्जांपल्स ते केमते हो बेटा धर सपोजिंग द गवर्नमेंट डिसाइड्स जे आमे उटे 30 टा खंडे ए स्मॉल टाउन्स को करंट करा पे 30 टा एयरपोर्ट करिबा एंड दैट वुड बी थ्रू पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप. प्राइवेट सेक्टर इन्वेस्ट करियो कि नहीं? Are you all getting me? धर आमे कहूचे रेलवेज रे आमे इन्वेस्ट करिबा, शिप बिल्डिंग रे करिबा, रोड रे करिबा. सो धर कहबे आमे बहुत बड़ा स्कूल करिबा, जैसे सेंट्रल स्कूल सबुड़ा को इंप्रूव करिबा. लेट्स पुट लॉट ऑफ मनी, लेट्स इंप्रूव द प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर. सो लेको कोन कोन करिवे जे प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर्स को जोड़ा का हमर बहुत माड़ा खाउची. प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर्स, प्राइमरी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर्स जाओ सेठी जे सा छुंची फोड़ दो तुम कुआड जानि पेन कुआडे सीसा बिना एनेस्थेसिया रे तुमको ऑपरेशन कर दो. नो आई एम नॉट जोकिंग. अरे तुम जाई ना के प्राइवेट डिस्पेंसरी देखो म अंगूठी देखो माने अंगूठी मतलब स्कूल रे पढुतले ढेंकी पड़ी गला मो ऊपर मु बो कोटला म ढेंको मो या ऊपर पड़ी गला से जिमती छला डांफण रे फोड़े माने डांफण रे करके मत से सिले मारतला मोर. I was in 7th class. I still remember. See, the scar is still there. मु जाइथिली जे हॉस्पिटल डिस्पेंसरी जाइथिली सिटी अछि से लोक जे छुची मारतला मु कहली तू बुढ़ा अछो भी कहला हां केमते लागुची मु देख एठी किंतु से छुची एबे भी अछि. तुम जो कहतो डिस्पोजेबल नीडल फुल किछि जे कांसेप्ट ही नाही सेही नीडल ता चलिबो सेही सूता चलिबो माने. अरे तुम से मजा होतो तो ओएसपीएस हबो ना तहसीलदार हबो देखियो कोन हॉस्पिटल रो अवस्था हॉरिबल हॉरिबल. तुम जाके देखियो देखुन ना तुम तमर तुम तो मैडम को जाके गोटे लोक नहीं तुम पुलिस कांस्टेबल. That is what I'm saying, the priority. What kind of priority you have? That is why. So when the government, what say थे पे अरे सुनो ना जे कथा सब कहूच रोजालिन देखो एगुड़ा सब अच्छी. Please note down, all of you please note down. एटा किए कहितला कुआड़े सब गला तमे कुआड़े मोर स्टाफ स्टूडेंट कुआड़े सब गला ये. हाँ जा कोरे पछरे allocation distribution stabilization कोआडे सब महातो तो विराट कोहली 6 माने 6 रन रे बोल्ड दिल्ली रणजी मैच रे मसग्रेव प्लीज नोट डाउन तपर इकोनॉमिक स्टूडेंट लिखो Richard Musgrave wrote a book called Public Finance. Now his book Public Finance is considered to be a landmark book. So he said the quality of a budget would be known from these 3 parameters. Please write down. Supposing I have to make an assessment of a budget, I have to only see 3 things. What are the 3 things? Allocation, distribution, and stabilization. Now let us understand these 3 terms. Allocation hala, Rosalind lekho, general, social, and economic. All of you please note down this. These are very, very important concepts. Huh? Ja. So allocation हला जे आमर जो total budget जो खर्च होची, what is the share of this expenditure against what? General sector, please note down, general sector, social sector, and economic sector. General sector आउची तमरो defense, pension, interest payment, general. These are all non-developmental expenditure. Is it clear? General central government expenditure, pension, defense, general. Social all sectors like education, health, skill, sanitation, social sector. Is it clear? Now, economic infrastructure. Economic is nothing but your infrastructure. Okay. Now, say, please note down this: general, social, and economic. In a country like USA, they would spend about 35% on social sector and about 25% on general sector, and on the economic sector they will spend about 40%. Roughly. General sector kete kharcha korchonti? About 25%. Social sector re kharcha korchonti 35%. Au amar jo Bharat, mera Bharat mahan, eithre hala 15, sorry, जो एटा हला 35, एटा हला 15, एटा रे एटा almost 45 खर्च करछि, 45 एटा हला 45. This is 40, this is 15, केतला 55 and 45. Do you see the asymmetry? स्वयं बुझुछ कथा? While in the US, they are spending close to 35% on the social sector. Please remember all the developed countries and even countries like China, they spend 35%, 35 to 40% the social sector. Because that is human development. It is for what? Human capability development. Whereas India spends just about 15%. While we are spending quite a lot on the economic sector, but we are spending huge amount on general sector. कौन general sector खर्च करछे? Defense, subsidy, हाँ government department तो रहिबो तुम कौन तो मारी पिटी बात करते तो ओएस तुम पाइबे पायर इच्छा नहीं की अरे तबे चाकरी में तरव पाइबो नहीं हमरो मेन प्रॉब्लम होची हमरो सब्सिडी दोचे subsidy, interest payment, okay, defense, lot of money. ISD will the कहूचे ISD, interest, subsidy and defense. This is your general sector. Interest, subsidy and defense. So have you understood? So what did Musgrave say? Musgrave says that the quality, please write down, the quality of a budget, the quality of a budget, the quality of a budget will be determined by the allocation priority, by the allocation priority of the FM amongst general, social and economic sector. So one of the issues which I have raised in this article is that we are spending very little money on the social sector. Is that clear? Is that clear? So, 8 allocation. Rosalind, have you understood? So, all of us know, just to put things very simply, please note down that on education, the recommendation is that we should spend 6% of GDP. Please note down. And we are spending just about 3.5%. We are spending between 3.3 to 3.5% on education, both center and states combined, because education is a concurrent subject. Please note down, this is very important. Education is a concurrent subject. Are you all getting me? Health rate, please note down, health rate, the recommendation is that we should spend at least 2.5%. And I'm a kharcha korche kete 1.3%. Please note down. So as against about 8.5% to 9%, we are spending just about the half of it. Jitte country achi, almost every country spends more than 10% of GDP on education and health. Please note down. Almost every country, Rosalind, spends more than 10% of their GDP on education and health. Now, have you understood? So, this is basically a question of priority. This is what I have written in that article, that at the end I have said that, when Manmohan Singh died, this fellow, our Amartya Sen, paid a tribute to him, and he said that he as the Prime Minister could have done better for education. So I said this is a moment for Mr. Modi to undo that trend. So allocation priority is very important. Health also the same thing. Health also the same problem, because if you go to the primary health centers and all, the facilities, basic facilities, the diagnostic facilities, doctors, nurses, is very, very bad. Very, very bad. Extremely, extremely bad. So, so that is allocation. Next, distribution. Distribution is distributive justice. That means how progressive, please note down, how progressive. So, how progressive is your tax system? How progressive is your tax system? Which essentially means, what is the tax rate on the super rich? Are you charging 25%? Are you charging 40%? Are you charging 50%? Or are you charging 60%? So Musgrave was clearly of the view that jo desare the top persons ko tame bahut low tax karucho, you are not doing distributive justice. Have you understood? Distributive justice means je bahut dhani loko ko mado diyo bole na. but they should pay much more than the middle income groups. Baba, somebody like me who earns 12 lakh rupees in pension, about 12 lakhs, I pay 30% plus surcharge, about 35% I pay. Mukesh Ambani also pays the same thing. Are you getting it? So this is the kind of dichotomy. Je 5 कोटी टका अधिक 5 कोटी तो अधिक राजदीप सरदेसाई सर से पाउची 5 कोटी टका पाउची से भी सर 35% दोची यदि मु तको राजदीप कहबे अरे तोर टी टैक्स बढ़ेबा के ना 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 मिश्र जे नहीं नहीं. So are you getting it? We
Hello?
have yes.
Sir,
We-
distributive justice
So-
Thomas Piketty कहले कि
हाँ, Piketty main concept of distributive justice. But actually, the father of this whole concept was Musgrave. Musgrave wrote about it much before. When Piketty's book was more popular, किंतु एक कथा Musgrave बुढ़ा बहुत दिन तले कहिछि. हमें तले एमए पढुतुलु 75 रो से कथा कहछि. बुझले कि से so Musgrave was, so that is called distributive justice. और तापर लास्ट कौन है ना? लास्ट कौन है ना? Stabilization. Stabilization, please note down. The unemployment percentage must be below 5%. स्वयं कौन गर्लफ्रेंड रो मैसेज आसी ना कौन? Unemployment percentage must be less than 5%. Inflation should be less than 5%. And exchange rate variation should not be more than 5%. Okay, बुझो भलो कि. Now what Musgrave was saying, that you may grow very well, you may have distributive justice, you may have allocation priority, but if your boat is not stable, your economic system is like a boat. So there are three factors for that. One is unemployment. If you have very high level of unemployment, which India has, we have about 8.6% unemployed. Please note down, and another 4% underemployed. So 12% loko, 12%, which 8% hele unemployed and about 4% hele underemployed. खाली कालुआ को भले काम करछुली काम दाम नाही विशेष सेरी मूवी बाडुतली भात बाडुतली मूव सर disguised development. Yes. So just write down that that the quality of a budget would therefore depend on the kind of allocation priority, the kind of distributive justice, and whether it is going to lead to economic stabilization. Now, for economic stabilization, I must bring down unemployment because is that clear? Now, let us see what is the economic survey saying on all this. Now, what is economic survey? So, economic stability upare economic survey kochi. We are doing well on inflation. Please note down. Our inflation is expected to be around 4.5%. So the allowable range is what? 4 to 6%, isn't it? What is the allowable range? Inflation kete hoche range kon hoche? 4 to 6, 4 plus minus 2. Yeah, to? So our prediction is that around 4.5% is likely going to be the inflation during 2025-26. Please note down. From almost 6%, please note down, 6% in the current year, we are expecting inflation to be around 5%. So therefore, please note down, the outlook is that on this parameter, on inflation parameter, India should be on a good ground, on a comfortable ground. Which portion? Amar of inflation ground, one expects that we are who are likely to do well, not doing well on unemployment. So if you really ask me, what are the two things that she has to address? One is how to increase demand and how to increase employment. That's all. They are the two things. Simple kotha, mane ete simple kotha kintu ete simple kotha na kemti hei jibo emti khali ame koi dele kon habo galo kodai jibo. So, but these are the two major challenges. Okay. So now economic stability, I would have foreign exchange variation. Foreign exchange variation. Now we have not done well in this. Our exchange variation has been almost around 15%. So the rupee is not stable. Please write down. Rupee is not stable on the external front. Gote rupee tom jo tonka achi na, tonkar gote internal value achi. Please note down. A money has an internal value. The money has an internal value. The money also has an external value. Say 100 टंका नहीं करी जो चिलम लगोतला हमरो स्वयं जाय के देखा कि चिलम पे जितला गला से कहला 120 टका चला मार खाना. So the internal value of rupee has fallen down. Are you getting my point? किंतु से गला जाके देखला जे नहीं 80 टका है सब बहुत बढ़िया रे आउट के मारदवा टिका आउट के सड़क पर की चल के आसिया टिके कुछ तो कथा. So that is the internal value of money. So inflation, please note down. So Madam has controlled internal value. External value is what? Dollar to rupee. Dollar to rupee. Sir, dollar to rupee जोड़ा 75 टका थिला, Madam तक वाणी की 6 रे नहीं आसले. Are you getting my point? भलो कले किटा, भलो करना हंती. गलमी करीबे कहे external factor बाहर कथा मु कौन टा करीबी. डॉलर तो मो ऊपर माने गाड़ी मो चढ़े देला मो ऊपर ये सब गालो कथा. We have not managed the external value of rupee well. You know, Raghuram Rajan was there for 4 years as RBI governor. He did not allow exchange variation to go beyond 3%. See, how do rate a Reserve Bank governor? समते खाली शक्ति दे सब ओडिया पिलाटा ओडिया अस्मिता तमर नाही तंक विरुद्ध तम लिखुच वो तो आर्टिकल लिखिली एवडे के पठे देला शक्ति पखु पठे देला शक्ति का न्यू वेरी वेल से कर बहुत भाईना मो भी इमिति लिखला तम से सब प्रशंसा करके पुणी पछरे गोटे मारला मते चटकांडे माइलो मुकल he has protected the internal value of rupee, but when it comes to external value of rupee he seems to have substantially failed. मैंने गोटे हाथ रे तक के गेल माने बहुत बढ़िया के आरा हाथ रे चटखाने मरा. But that's the truth. Are you getting my point? See, when things have to be judged, so people will ask you सेतला तबे खसिबार नाही कोन तबे बुझछो कथा. So economic stability को धंधारे फसले. Employment we are slipping on. Exchange rate variation we are slipping big time. Distributive justice किछि नहीं सरा किछि हो नहीं. जदि से 5% रिडक्शन दबो तल कहवा ठीक अछि तुम गोटे दवा माने गोटे चेयर दवा गोटे 5% कमी हो मते कहबो 3-4 जानि बुझत. सो ता ऊपर मु काल देखुची कोन बजट से कहूची माने we all hope that tax will be reduced. मो वाइफ कोड सुनला जे पेंशनर्स को पूरा टैक्स फ्री कर देबे. एते खुशी से कहबार नहीं कहला आई बिलीव तुम की सब खबर दउछ सब कना मोर बैंकर संग माने जो रिटायर करछन सब कहउछन एथर पेंशन मन को सब छाड़ देबे. मोदी सा छाड़िबो हमको पूरा टैक्स करेगी छायो बारे. सो एनीवे, सो दैट इज stabilization, distributive justice, but allocation priority is very much within her control. Are you all getting me? Allocation priority is very much within control. I would say one ratio, please note down all of you. Gotala endogenous factors. I would have exogenous factors. Please note down, this is very important. When the FM is going to make a presentation, there are some factors which he can control. Those factors are known as endogenous factors. Exogenous factors are those factors on which she has very little control. Monsoon, oil prices. Please note down, these are monsoon, oil prices. These are exogenous factors. ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ prediction has a normal monsoon habo, the finance minister is very happy. So, but that's not an endogenous factor. That's an exogenous factor. So basically, but endogenous factor, she can always make better allocation priority to social sector. There's nothing that she couldn't have done. But say for instance, rupee variation. Dhara sethi Trump bada badmasi kala dollar bisare, bond rate badhe dela. So she can't do much about that. Please note down, again that is a bond rate in US. Please note down. Tariffs. These are all exogenous factors. Bond rates in USA mane jaha bartan sane America jo rate achi seta de badhai dele, then more and more people will go and buy US bonds. So then the pressure of bujiporchu sam. So again that is a exogenous factor. Ame kava je nai Modi jaki to phone karde se karibani bond rate badheboni, simte hueni. Se kale juddho bond kardo se, mane Ukraine juddho bond kardo. So exogenous factor. Sir, siade kwad habo sida sir hatre nahi. Tariff. Again, supposing the US increases the tariff on goods it is exporting. Again, that's all. But for India, please note down, when we prepare a budget, the most important factor we look at is oil price. India, the most important exogenous factors. The most important exogenous factor is the crude rate. Crude rate per barrel. Jota aji about $85 achi. So the budget pokeve, Nirmala will make an assessment. Check kete hi pare. Supposing the expectation is body hore, tahala amar se usare import bill ta se usare control hi rahibo. Buji parcho? But again, that's an exogenous factor. Please remember this. बुझी पड़छ तो ए सब प्रसंग नला परे आमे वर्तमान आसीबा हमर प्रथम स्लाइड. सो वर्तमान कोटा कला endogenous factor hela everything which you can control. As I said, how much you allocate to defense, how much you allocate to education is an endogenous factor. It is an endogenous factor. And how you manage your supply chain, it is again an endogenous factor. माने जोड़ा का सरकार निजे इंटरवेन करी परिपारिबो. किंतु monsoon is not an endogenous factor. अरे कितने पर? दर तमरोटा huge failure of crops हला, onion crop हला. दाम टिके बढ़िबो, निश्चय बढ़िबो. Prices will go up. So again, an exogenous factor. So now let us see. बुझी गलो तमे? हमें माने पूरा तुमको ट्रेलर एटा एपन तो सिनेमा आरंभ नहीं. सिनेमा रा ट्रेलर हला. ए पर्यंत खाली ट्रेलर चलथला. बर्तन चलियो हम सिनेमा को चेकला. बुझो त? कोनटा हला? हां? रजलिन ने बुझी होछ ना मैं डर लागुछ कि किना मिटा? हां? को? नहीं. कोन डोज ठीक अछि? ना तीन क्लास है कौन इकोनॉमिक्स रे कौन हां नहीं तो डिफिकल्ट हो चुकी कमिंग अदर्स यू फाइंड इट डिफिकल्ट ना इट्स ऑल राइट ना हां ओके No, basically the whole idea is that, you are talking about specific things now. So now the first thing in the, when the chief economic advisor will write, first things they will say that what is the state of global economy? Please note down, what is the state of global economy? State of global, एटा होची तारा source होची World Economic Outlook. Please note down. Source हला World IMF World Bank Economic Outlook. As per the IMF World Bank Economic Outlook, next is the growth rate, average growth rate in the world. Please note down, average growth rate in the world would be around 3.2 to 3.3%. So there is neither basic kichi bhalo habar nahi, kichi kharap habar nahi. Mane it's not a gloomy thing. Mane it is a normal. It's a normal world. So therefore there is nothing to. But when you look at the advanced countries, please see here. Advanced country, there is a slight improvement, particularly US economy. Please note down, US economy is doing well. Okay, US economy is doing well. It hala EMD re full form ta kahla mujhe kiye? Emerging market development economies. So what is the situation there? 4.2% is the average growth. So as against that, please note down, this survey tells you, it you note correctly, please. You note correct. India, it was 8%, 6.5%, and 6.3 to 6.8%. re, how much did you achieve? 8%. In 2024 6.5%, and in the coming financial year, the prediction is 6.3 to 6.8. So Rosalind, please write down that while the growth rate in India, would be better than all EMDs, yet we are not able to achieve the potential growth rate of potential GDP of 8%. Clear hala? The last class re kohitli potential GDP, Rosalind mane purchi? Kohitli last class re GW, GN mane purchi? GW, GN. So basically our G is 6.3, but the warranted is about 8%. So one of the challenges, please note down, one of the challenges in the budget is how do we grow beyond 6.3%? Bujhle ki madam? How do we grow beyond 6.3%? Warranted growth. The प्रश्न पूछा हवा मैडम को, मैडम कहीं के 8% होगी? सी कौन कहे तार आंसर कौन देबे? तमे दी एफएमई था कौन आंसर ता दबो क्वालिटी के? What answer will you give? Why it is? So G is equal to what? I by C. What is I in India? कहते 30. What is C? Around 5. That is why about 4.8 or so. Hala? So that is why it is 6.3. What is your investment? 30. and what is your ICOR? 4.8. अरे बुझ मने पड़छ ना नहीं 4.8. Now if I have to achieve 8%, I need to increase 30 to about 32 and ICOR to 4. Please note down. से गालो कहबो जे एसएन मिश्रा बेसी तमे बहुत भाषण मत देलनी 32 divided by 4 करिया पे it's a huge challenge. How do I improve human productivity? ए पिलाडा को सब केमती IAS level को आनिमी. If I have to bring all of you to IAS level, then you will all come from 4.8 to 4. तमे वर्तमान तमे 4.8 रो 4.5 4.6 ହେଲା ଆଉ ଟିକେ बुझी पड़छ तो एबे थर्ड गियर चल छ जतरा फोर्थ गियर हबो सेतल तमे फोर्थ चल मु तो कुछ कमी कोनी तमे बहुत हाई लेवल चल छ ए जो आंसर सब होची जा पानी बिहार रे एमए इकोनॉमिक्स पिला बुझी पार नांती व्हेन आई टेक ए क्लास दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट फुली बुझी पड़छ तो कारण बेसिक कांसेप्ट्स रे क्लैरिटी आसुनी देबा बुझी पड़छ तो so growth prediction, please note down, growth prediction for India is that we are going to have a moderate growth and not the warranted growth of 8%. Sir, बुझले कथाटा ना ए सार को पचाती बुझी पड़छ तो सो भलो करूची जे किंतु से को मु तो चाइना टू बेटर करूची अफगानिस्तान टू बेटर करूची ब्राजील टू बेटर करूची बुझले कि हैं बांग्लादेश टू बेटर बढ़िया कथा कह रहा हूं. So this is the first. This is clear to all of you. Second thing, please note down which graph I have not put here. पूरा कहना हाँ G equal to S by C. I had also said S is also I. अरे जहाँ सेविंग हला सेटा इन्वेस्टमेंट को आसीबो तो माने बहुत आई एम वेरी हैप्पी रोजलिन वेरी हैप्पी सेटा S by C कहितली से एस टा सेविंग टे क्वाड जीवो इन्वेस्टमेंट रे हबो ना अरे तमे जहाँ संचय करियो इन्वेस्ट करियो कि नहीं कैसे चलियो केमती तो घरे दे तो 100 टका रखलो केम चलियो. So please note down the global outlook is that it is going to be growth is going to be stagnant around 3%. Please note down, but one of the good things that has happened is that inflation has come down everywhere. Please note down. Inflation has come down. Please note down. Global inflation has come down from almost 13-14% to just about 4 to 5%. It's a very, very important development. A COVID pare, one of the biggest challenges of many countries, including America, many developed countries. So, please, all of you, please remember that when we talk of inflation, before COVID, inflation was not a phenomenon in the developed countries. Please note down. Inflation is not a phenomenon in the developed country. So, example, they tell start kata kahitili tumku England start kata kahitili. Mone pudjina nahi hu. So inflation is not a inflation is not a problem in the developed country. Inflation is a problem in bhikmaga country like us. But after COVID, semane bhi bhikmanga hai gale. Inflation suddenly became. So how did they control inflation? How did people control? How the developed countries? So padhe jeta. हाँ को कोटा खाली इंटरेस्ट आउट के स्पेसिफिक को रेपो रेट गिव हिम अ बिग हैंड जानते हैं कोई बोली. So please remember the repo rate, almost every country increase their repo rate. कौन तारा implication कौन हला रोजलिन repo rate increase रे कौन हला cost of credit went up. Cost of credit went up. So when cost of credit will go up, so economy will not be overheated. Have you understood? अरे तले inflation टा होची सेतेबेले जदि आमे इंटरेस्ट रेट टा कमे दबा ताल आहुरी बेसी भूगो बढ़ियो कि नहीं. So but if you increase the repo rate, the interest rate, the cost of credit will go up, and that is how economy. So almost every country increased the repo rate. Also India did it, and that has really brought inflation under control. So that's a good thing. So growth prospect is normal. Inflation has come down. So India lives in a global situation where global inflation is under control. So therefore India should also keep an eye on inflation. Are you getting my point? बाहर जति inflation जति बढ़ियो ताहाले अलग कथा किंतु बाहर inflation बढ़ियो. Is that clear? So this is the first slide. Clear hala? We go to the next slide. Take a snap of this. Take a snap of this. Take a snap of this. Now from the total growth, we will swam here. From the total growth, कितने growth था हमारा prediction कुछ 6.3 to 6.8. Say growth टा को बर्तमान disaggregate करिवा among sectors. Please note down. We will disaggregate amongst the sectors. कौन sector रहेला? Agriculture, industry, और services. बुझु तो कथा? बुझो की सर कथा ना नहीं. Now agriculture rate, what is the, so about 3.8%. Please note down 3.8%. And it is slightly better than the average growth rate of 3.5%. Please note down. So we are expecting agriculture to do better than last year. Next to देवी तमे निजे लिखिबो 5 मिनिट बसी तमे एथरा इंटरप्रेट करियो माने बुझी पड़छो कथा डाटा टा तमे तो देखि कि तमे इंटरप्रेट कर दला सेतल तमरे को कंफर्ट लेवल आछियो मुदी होल आईडिया इज दैट ए डाटा तो बुझी पड़छो तो डोंट वरी सो दैट इज द सिचुएशन व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन इन इंडस्ट्री व्हाट इज सिचुएशन इन इंडस्ट्री व्हाट वुड बी द ग्रोथ लाइकली no about 7%. This is what the outlook is, and this is what the average is. बुझो कथा. So average industry growth was around 5.8%. Please note down. अरे बुझो कि नहीं? Are you all getting me? So industry growth was around 5.8%. So we are going to do marginally better in industry, around 6.2%. What about services? Services, we were doing about 8.2%. Please note down. That is going to come down to about 7.5%. Rosalind, are you following? When we are talking of 6.3% average growth, we must not forget how each sector is going to behave. Is that clear to all of you? Because each sector has a different character. Now what about GVA? GVA was supposed to be around 6.5. Now it is going to be 6.3. So gross value addition is going to come down. GDP also will come down. बुझी पड़छो? जो GDP टा 6.5 थिला बर्तमान 6.3 हला. Is that clear? बहुत clear है गला है बहुत simple. बुझले? Is that clear? But this is very, very important. Because why it is important? It देखो. It is note करो ठीक है. Agriculture में कितने लोग अछंती? What is the share in GDP? Please note down. Please note down. केते लोक अछंती स्वयं एग्रीकल्चर रे 48%, contribution in GV कोते 17%. So about 17%. So therefore there is a mismatch between population and contribution to GDP because productivity of agricultural worker is low. बुझी पड़छ 45 टा लोक 70 टका आउछंती 100 टका भितरे 45 लोक कत पैसा आउछंती 70 टका. What about industry? 25 out 25. Services कितना हला 48 plus 25 हला लोको कितना हला एठी एटा कितना हला रे 73 हला तो एटा हला 27 आ कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना हला 58%. Please note down. एटा नोट करो एटा this is very important. 48% लोको contributing how much? 17%. 25% is contributing to 25%, and 27% people in services are contributing 15%. That is why everybody wants to be a doctor, everybody wants to be a banker, everybody wants to be in the service sector. IT re kaam kara chauchi. बुझी पड़छ तो. So therefore, what are the lessons from this? The first lesson hala जे हमें सर्विसेज सेक्टर टा कहीं कमुची, we have to incentivize the service sector. हमें have to see जे सर्विस सेक्टर भितरे which sector is not doing well. होटल टा काम करूची कि नहीं, communication, there are different segment within the services. We have to see banking services रे banking हला, insurance हला, which sector is not doing well. So the government has to see that. जो सेक्टर टा भलो करूनी ताकू incentivize करे. बुझ पड़छ तो. So this is the data. एटा तमे लेखिबो. मु टिके बुझे देबी तुमको एटा को तमे. So this is the most important data. All of you take a snap. All of you take a snap or you concentrate on this. ए डेटा ऊपर क्वेश्चन तुमको दिया गला. From this table, please analyze. सुनो तुम के जागो देखनी एकदम कंसंट्रेट करो. कहीं बुद्धिया इट नांदी सबु समान अवस्था अछंती. From this data जोटा आरंभ करते रोजलिन y is equal to what? PFC plus G हला GFC तापरे GFCF हला investment. Please note down. Rosalind, please write down. जोटा C कहितली सेटा होची PFC. अरे जो y equal to कहितल तो अरे C is PFC. बुझी पड़छ. G हला GFC, Government Final Consumption Expenditure. Government Final Consumption Expenditure, not final. Government Final Consumption Expenditure. जिंदे सेटा प्राइवेट रे फाइनल ना एटा गवर्नमेंट रे. बुझी पड़छ. तापर हला gross fixed capital formation. That is nothing but investment. अरे ग्रॉस कैपिटल टा कोड आसीबो इन्वेस्टमेंट आसीबो ना. अरे बिल्डिंग किमती बनेबो, प्लांट किमती हबो, इन्वेस्ट कले हबो ना. सो नाउ फ्रॉम दिस टेबल तुमको 10 मिनट दिया हला. प्लीज राइट डाउन हाउ प्लीज ब्रिंग आउट द ट्रेंड. लिखो क्वेश्चन लिखो. प्लीज ब्रिंग आउट द ट्रेंड ऑफ different sectors from 2018 till 2025. तुम गोटे काम करो तुम कंपेयर करो 18 संगे 25 को कंपेयर करो लेट्स नॉट so please compare the position in 2018 with 2025 or you can do 24 and 25 karo 24 and 25 mane tinta gote hala 2018 that is before the pandemic then 24 25 and then 25 26 ame expect korchu buji porcho to please write down karo you have 15 minutes to answer this have you understood this or not mo question ta bujhla ki nahi just to give a hint supposing you have to comment on government final consumption expenditure government final expenditure कोटा कोठु असला कोठाला so it was 10.8 please note down 10.8 10.4 and 10.3 so you can say the government final consumption expenditure has remained stagnant around 10%. Can I say that? बहुत कथा कहिदिल तुमको सब कथा कहिदिल तुम करिबो ने बिस्पुरी करो कौन पूछो तो there are three parameters one is PFC गोटला GFC गोटला capital formation आ गोटला आ गोटे ता भीतर छपिगिरी भी अछि गोटे छपी के अछि सेटा छपिटा करो सेटा बुझी पड़छ जे छपिटा कोटा x minus m टा एठी मु तुमको करो से करी बखा
सर एक्सपोर्ट एंड इंपोर्ट तो
हां एक्सपोर्ट एंड इंपोर्ट एई कथाटा इथर लिखा ही नहीं
सर ऊपर पैरामीटर्स अछि किंतु
पैरामीटर हां देखु तुम सब देखु तुम देखियो देखाले केम जाबो देखो give me on a sheet of paper please write down on a clean sheet of paper खाली डेटा लिखियोनी कौन तार ट्रेंड होची
सर ऑनलाइन रे जणा पडुनी पीएफसी ता को कलर को डिनोट करूछ और इंपोर्ट ता को कलर को डिनोट करूछ
अरे सुनो ए जो हळदियाटा होची
सर पीएफसी ता इंपोर्ट ता कलर डिस्टिंग्विश हे पारुनी
सुनो पीएफसी टा हला एटा ए ग्रीन
आज्ञा
पीएफसी टा हला ग्रीन
येलो
अरे पीएफसी हला ग्रीन टा तापरे जीएफसीएफ हला ए जोटा कोन एटा की कलर ग्रेटा बैगनी कलर पर्पल आई एम कलर ब्लाइंड दिस इज पर्पल तापरे एक्सपोर्ट हला हळदिया येलो आ एटा की कलर रे व्हाट इज दिस कलर स्काई आई एम कंप्लीटली कलर ब्लाइंड मु तो व्हाइट शर्ट खबळे पिंदे तेणु मोर कलर आइडिया नहीं बुझियो तो
हां सर टिके साइड वन तो
हां साइड हो टिके नहीं बेसिक पूरा साइड हला एथरो अरे एथरो हला की
आज्ञा सर
हो चलो
सर 24 डाटा टा क्लियर आसुनी पूरा स्क्रीन रे कवर होनी
ओटा
2024 रो फाइनेंशियल ईयर जो 2024 डाटा टा साइड रो कटि जाउची
कोटा जाउची
सर से जो
जूम आउट करो तुम्हें निज फोन में तीन लैब रे कारण एटा पूरा आसुची
अरे मु कोनटा करबी मु ताणली ताणली करो तुम करो समझते इंटरेस्टिंग नुह एमती डाटा देले होची कि नहीं तो बुझी पड़छ करा
सर डाटा तो एनालाइज कर लिए सर देखो रिप्रेजेंट केमती करी भी जानी पारुनी सर
तो जान पाले देखियो लडू लडू पाइबो लडू लडू गेट अ गुड लडू एटू गोटे भल लडूटे पठेबा तुमको one good laddu would be sent to you. See, my request to you is to basically analyze how these different components have behaved over a period of time before pandemic and after the pandemic. एथर तमरे इंटरप्रिटेशन खाली तमे परसेंटेज दबनी you should also make some interpretation. Just one line interpretation. One or two lines. Just say that this is how the trend. चेष्टा करो हम ऑनलाइन में जो अच्छे सब किसी व्यस्त बात नहीं
सर shall I try मु लिखी छी सर
लेख लेख गोटे सरू समझ सरू टे तरतर हुए टे तमें ज्ञान दब तो पुणी मत ज्ञान दब ना सर मुझे ज्ञान दब ज्ञान दब चेष्टा कर बहुत सिंपल कथा बहुत सिंपल किसी चैलेंज ना इधरे another 5 minutes बेसी लिखा दरकार नहीं तुम खाली जस्ट माने for each of the components each of the sectors just the line तमे लिखो माने कोन है तो बहुत सिंपल कथा टे तुम खाली जस्ट टू मेक योर फैमिलियर मु खाली देली अदर बहुत सिंपल कथाटा मैंने भावतो सर कौन हम कौन गध भावचुन कौन माने एते पंडित लोकड़ा हम सब कौन जो नहीं All of you convert your answer to these two equations. Go Tale. Y18 is equal to 1 by 1. Y18 ray. What is C? No. 58.7. Is that clear? अरे क्लियर है कि नहीं? इधर क्लियर है ना? क्लियर? हाँ, एकदम क्लियर है. प्लस करो. Plus what is I? I is how much? 28 point plus, very good, plus what is X and what is M? 18.8 minus, so how much is this? How much is this? Minus 3.2. First, write down all of you. Minus 3.2 is the CAB, current account deficit. So, what are the current account deficit in 2018? Minus 3.2. Rosalind, is that clear? All of you are with me? All of you are with me? This is the thing that I wanted you to do.
Pratiksha ma'am, please mute.
Konta? Array Y is equal to how much? 58.7% hala your PFC. What is your I? 28.2. What is your G? 10.8. And what is your X minus M? Minus 3.2. Is that clear? If I have to interpret it, I will say that consumption was low. Please note down, consumption was low, investment was low, and current account deficit was high. If anything is more than 3, next time to table demo kichi hint deveni. Next time to jama hint deveni. Eta pura kari do tumko. Consumption was low.
Sir, authority koi debe sir.
Sure, consumption was low, 58.7. Investment was low. Investment was low. Are, is it low or not? What was the public investment? 7 plus 21.2. See, please note down, public investment has remained constant. Please note down. Public investment in India has remained constant. Sarkar korchi to. What has been changing is private investment. Bujhi porcho? Bujhi porcho? Clear hala? Online mein jo mano clear hala? Are clear hala ki nahi?
Yes, sir.
Government expenditure. How much was the government expenditure? 10.8. And what was current account deficit? Minus 3.2. Is it clear to all of you or not? Now, all of you, without my help, please do Y24 and Y25 and give your recommendations to me. How you have to basic very, very.
Sir, fiscal deficit calculation fiscal deficit.
Fiscal deficit. 80 fiscal deficit data nahi. This data is not, 1 minute. This data is not dealing with fiscal deficit. This data is only dealing with y रे फिस्कल डेफिसिट कोड आसला अरे
Okay,
y
sir,
रे
sir, current account deficit.
ट्रेड डेफिसिट आछी हां किन बाहर कली से 28.2 रे 7 हला गवर्नमेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट आ 28.2 हला yes, so that is why I am asking you now to do for 24 बुझे अरे क्लियर बुझाला कि नहीं नाउ 24 रे मते को रोजलिन को जन जन पचारिबी रोजलिन करो एटा केते हला 24 रे केतेला हां 60.3 रोजलिन इज इट क्लियर हां तमे को what was I in 24 केतेला 30.8 that means 7 plus 23.8 is that clear plus plus 10. Yes. tapare plus 21.8 minus कितना minus
2.7
minus 2.3 करो एथरो y25 जमा कहि बिनी करो y25 करो करो इधर क्लियर है ना नॉट क्लियर होनी तब पूरी डाउट हला माइंड रे the trade deficit has come down. Trade deficit has come down from how much? From 3.2 to 2.3. Investment has slightly picked up. Consumption has also slightly picked up. Government expenditure has remained constant. Can we say that? Post-pandemic, तो मैंने आज गला परे मते सकाळू गोटे मेल कर दो समते लिखि so that you know माने you are absolutely thorough on this. Are you getting my point? एटा 15 मिनट काम बुझिया अच्छा 25 टा को 25 टा को केते हला ना 61.8 very good आरोटा
30.1
हां 30.1 तापरे 10.3 तापरे
21.5
केते थला 21.5 minus 24.1 केते हला minus 2.6
3.5
इंटरप्रेट करो वर्तमान कोन है छी so in 2025-26 consumption has slightly improved. Overall consumption has slightly improved. Overall consumption has slightly improved. But there are many products where the demand has not increased. Like automobiles, for instance. Are you getting my point? Overall consumption has increased, but demand in certain sectors see a different type of consumption demand will be different. Is that clear? So then investment has come down. Has investment not come down? Government expenditure has remained almost constant, and current account deficit will slightly go up. Hello. So clear है कि नहीं? हुआ था मैं difficult. So all of you please write down. जे इथरे करी कब्जा करू तापरे you give your suggestions. कौन टा तले हमें if this is the situation then what we should do. So one of the things that we should try to boost up consumption demand. We should increase investment. Okay. So एवरा सब कॉलेज एग्री हबो बुझछु तो कथा आ गोटे लास्ट टेबल करके तुमको आज देखो नियत छबी नियो सो दिस गिव्स यू कौन कहला हां बुझी गला तो सब बुझियो किछ असुविधा नै एटा होची एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर रे करंट अकाउंट बैलेंस बुझलो तो देखछो तो केमती फ्लक्चुएट करूची करंट अकाउंट बैलेंस केमती फ्लक्चुएट करू देखछो तो खाली तो टेबल देख हां आउट आस आ दीटा अछि टेबल सरवा हला खाली आज खाली टेबल देती अछि सर आमे आसिया वर्तमान द बैंकिंग सेक्टर प्लीज नोट ऑन फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडिएशन बुझ पड़छो तो आमे वर्तमान बैंक रे कोन सिचुएशन देखिया कोन देखिया सो वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स इज नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स केते थिला मार्च 21 रे वर्तमान केते अछि इट हैज कम डाउन हला तापरे रिटर्न ऑन एसेट्स केते थिला 0.7 वर्तमान अछि 1.4 so if I have to take the banks are performing better the debt has come down बुझছো तो कथा केम सब डेटा बाहर तो हां एटा लास्ट वन देखो एट देखो बैंक क्रेडिट कोन थिला केते थिला 2020 रे 6% इंक्रीज होला बैंक क्रेडिट वर्तमान केते अछि बट वी वर डूइंग बेटर इन द प्रीवियस ईयर जस्ट सी हियर ए जति के डेटा अछि सब पिक्चर नेकरी मो ऊपर उठा देओ तमे तुम्हारा कमेंट्स मारो फोटो मारो सब मारो गोटे पर गोटे तुम लो तो क्वेश्चन हला based on the data given please bring out based on the data given please bring out the trends in different sectors of India and suggest the way forward for Nirmala Sitharaman for FF फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर पई कोन रोजलिन भाबुची मैडम ए सब बुझबो सता हां सो गोटे पर गोटे फोटो उठा तारा मु तो अच्छा मो एटा को नले की पेन ड्राइव रे एटा कैन यू ट्रांसफर इट हां ग्रुप रे केमती करियो तो कर पियो ठीक अछि हां सर कर दे तो सो एटा तो मु शेयर बुझ परछो तो कोन रखे में लागु छी एटा based on the data given in economic survey on various parameters please bring out the roadmap for Dr. Sitharaman एवडा सब ए सब सोर्स ए आंटिबो एटा कोठो रिजर्व बैंक रो आंटिबो एटा रिजर्व बैंक सोर्स आ रिजर्व बैंक हेतु सो तुम सब गोटे छवि नहीं जाओ ना सब किसी नहीं तुमको मैंने आउ किसी नहीं मैं इतनी अच्छा आउट लास्ट दिन तो फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व भी नहीं जाओ क्या सुंदर है डाटा वाटा कहला भला जरा नहीं हाँ भला लागू कि नहीं तुमको फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व सा इतनी तो डाटा हो अच्छा इन्फ्लेशन भी अच्छी अरे इन्फ्लेशन भी अच्छी आइले तो कौन कौन तारा पैरामीटर हला कौन कौन पैरामीटर हला को कौन कौन में तुम लिखियो को कौन कौन लिखियो पैरामीटर कौन हला इन्फ्लेशन तापरे आउ कौन या पूर्व कौन देखै दिली
फॉरेक्स रिजर्व
एफई रिजर्व बहुत बड़ा रिजर्व आउ तापरे पूर्वरु
एनपीए
फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडिएट्स
बस फाइनेंशियल इंटरमीडिएशन बहुत बढ़िया आउ तापरे ता पूर्वरु
बैंक क्रेडिट
हां
सर
बैंक क्रेडिट बहुत बढ़िया वेरी गुड हां तापरे
एक्सटर्नल सेक्टर परफॉर्मेंस
सीएबी हां तापरे তারপরে তারপরে সেটা হচ্ছে সেক্টরাল পারফরম্যান্স। সেক্টরাল পারফরম্যান্স 1 2 3 4 5 6 এই 6টা প্যারামিটার রে মানে based on these 6 parameters what are the trends and what kind of action Dr. Sitharaman should take based on these indicators. या ऊपर ही काली बजट मु सुनिबी ता ऊपर कनेक्टिव रे मोर काली अछि शॉर्ट ऑल कनेक्टिव बुझलो तो सेठी सब आसी सब मोदी रो सब चमचा सब थिबे बीजेपी वाला थिबे बीजेडी वाला थिबे सब पॉलिटिकल लोग थिबे सब पॉलिटिकल कांग्रेस गोटे थिबो गोटे बीजेपी लोग थिबो गोटे बीजेडी लोग थिबो आउ सेई थरे आ गोटे थिबो गोटे कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर की गोटे थिबो अरे मु होली इकोनॉमिस्ट आउ को मु इंडिपेंडेंट मत बहुत व्यस्त होंदिस माने भारी गाली खा दे उठो माने किछि न पड़ी खाली खाली तांगा संगे माने झगड़ा करियो हला
सर आपनकर मेल है
मो मेल ता MISRA dot SN54 @gmail.com MISRA dot sugarnagpur54 @gmail.com हला
सर पॉलिटिशियन माने इकोनॉमी बुझी पारंती
किए कहला पॉलिटिशियन माने आप बुझिबे सब कथा बुझिबे सब पैसा खाइबे किंतु आले पैसा खाइबे किंतु सर बहुत एस्ट्यूट एक्सट्रीमली एस्ट्यूट बट दिस इज सीरियस बिजनेस माने बजट इज सीरियस बिजनेस वेरी सीरियस बिजनेस
Thank you, sir.